Okay, so now that we have this began, let's work on the construction cost. So let's work on our model. Perhaps I'm going to make it just a touch smaller. Hope you can see that. You know, if this quality is bad, I need some feedback. I don't have this this LinkedIn account, my Facebook account. I never would use. Okay, let's put construction and development cost. Okay, and let's first put our development cost. Okay, and then after we put the development cost, let's put in the I guess the total cost. Now, what I would do is use some of these little things to the side so we can document clearly what we have. We have this development cost. Oh, come on. I guess I have to make it a little bit wider. Okay, and then we also, maybe I'll put, I just have a new computer because somebody took my old computer. I know my life is oh no, I'm not gonna tell you about that. Okay, and then we put periods, and let's go and get the periods of the development. It turns out that the timing of, if you're really interested in development, the timing, I'm pressing F4 and multiplying this by the development period and then dividing it by this one, and since it comes from that column, I press F3, Shift Control R. So those are our development expenditures. And then let's put our S curve. Now I'm going to do this fairly quickly. You could use the V lookup, which would be, or H lookup, and we have this construction month here, and you know, but I'm just going to use the lookup function, and so we look up, and you see we have lookup, and what you do is you first say what's our construction month, a year, and then you say, okay, let's find the top of the construction year. Now if you press Shift Spacebar and then click on the spend percent, you can get this. It gives you an NA, and then it gives this for each one, and we can simply divide that by instead of, let's be real careful, let's I'm sorry, I'm going to divide it by 12. Not great form, but not horrible either. And that gives us our construction percent. And then let's put our construction costs, expenditures, and there we put the construction expenditures here. That's our total facility cost, and we can just say, well, if it's the construction period, now the reason I'm doing this is just to get rid of the NAs, then let's multiply this by this one. And if we really wanted to make absolutely sure we didn't make some kind of silly mistake, we could put a little test here and sum up the construction costs. Okay, and looks like I have to Shift Control. Oh, it doesn't. Yeah, that works. So that, oops, it didn't work. Did I? Well, the first thing, let's sum this. Oh, we can't sum that really because I have the NAs. Did I not add this correctly in our S curve? I mean, where's our Okay, this sums to 100%, and oh no. Okay, and why did that not work? Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, I can pretend that that mistake I made was on purpose, but it wasn't. The spend percent, there was this last year, so what we really should have done is put a lookup. Okay, and this when we put lookup, let's look up on the construction month, not the year. Okay, and I guess we'll practice this lookup in this video about 5 times. 5 times, I don't know, maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe 4. Okay, Shift Control R, and now I just adjusted it correctly. And remember, this one isn't actually. If we want to make them all formatted, let's make them just a little bit wider. Oops. Okay. Okay, so when you're going to make one wider, this stupid Excel, you know, when you just do it one by one, it would take forever. So those are our construction costs, and then let's put our land expenditures. Okay, and can you put on this one, let's put the land expenditures, and I suppose we should first put the amount we're spending on this land, and then why don't we put the date on the expenditure? Okay, now this is going to, I suppose, introduce us to another thing. We F4 this one, multiply it by this begin date, that we needed this begin date because we entered all of our inputs with the begin date, and press F4. Okay, this Shift Control O, maybe Shift Control 1 is better. Okay, and then we have our land cost here, and it's only put in one single period. Okay, so this is our construction and land. I don't know, I don't like this. Okay, and then okay, we can just leave that. Okay, and suppose if you wanted to put total construction expenses, total outlays, okay, we could take the development costs plus the construction plus this. Okay, so that's how much we spend, and we've got our spending patterns go up and down. Final thing, let's put the rooms, and we put the rooms in here, and we're gonna put the number of rooms here in our hotel, and this is just another illustration of how this works. We put our operation and multiply that by this F4. We don't have any rooms until we start. Okay, now if we wanted to get even more fancy, we could Shift Control down, 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 all the way to the end. This does not increase the size of no matter what you read on the internet, it does not increase the size of the file. Now what I'm going to do is use conditional formatting and show when you're fancy with it, conditional formatting, you go to New Rule, and let's use a formula, and let's say we take this start date right here and press the F4 a couple of times, because you always want that in, and you make that equal to the land date when this one starts, and we can put, maybe we'll format that with a fill as a one color, and then we'll do the same thing. Let's go to conditional formatting, new rule, use a formula, and let's again click on this start date, press the F4. I think the rule is, my little rule for today at least, is you go to the very top left, and if we make it equal to this one, let's make another format. We're in fill, let's make this one, that'll be the other key date, which is the marriage date or the TOP date, and then we'll make one more one of these. We'll put a new rule, and we'll go use a formula, and this one will be this one, and we format this as a how about this one? That's when we exit. Did I just put the exit date? I didn't put an equal sign to the exit date. Okay. And then we can see this is when we start. This is when we have our period for the construction. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Start date. Hoo-hoo. Oh, I have a little bit of an error here. Okay. And this should be less than or equal to, just a minute. Shoot. Oh! Right, for once I did not make an error. This, if we exit here, this is really the date after the exit. So so we should almost name that, I don't know, a sold period or something. Okay, and let's just practice this again. Shift Control right arrow, and we go to conditional formatting. Whoops, I don't want to. It would almost be okay. Why didn't I suppose so we go to conditional formatting. This is going to be a little bit trickier, a new rule, and we'll use a formula on which to do this, and we'll take this one and press F4 a couple of times, equal to E date of this one minus 1. So that's a little bit trickier, I think. I've never done it before. And we'll make it, well, no, we're going to make this one green, okay? And, okay, so we have this one. Oof, I missed it. I'm going to stop this. I don't know what I did wrong. Okay, enough of that. At least we have those done. Excuse me for that last one. So now let's stop this one. No. Let's after we put the construction cost in, let's put the EBITDA, or the operating income. I'm going to call it cash flow. And then let's put the first. Let's put we better put some inflation rates. Inflation rate for revenues. Inflation rate for costs. I feel bad about that last thing I did. Inflation index for revenues, and inflation index for costs, and then we can put a room rate per day. How about room inflated room rate room rate per day, room rate per period. And what we'll do is we'll have to find out how many days we have in the periods. And finally, we'll put the gross revenues, and then we can put utilization. Well, why don't we put utilization okay, and then we can put rooms sold. So we can, if we have 80 rooms, we can see how many utilization rate. And we better be really careful. So if I put rooms sold, I'm going to multiply that by the number of days. So this is just you know, where did we put our index? Inflation. Okay. And then we put an index, and then we put our room rate per day as USD per day, and this is USD per day. This is a percentage, and this is room, or better put PCT, we'll do the same thing, and this is rooms per period. Okay, not per so we have our rooms up there, how many rooms, and we'll multiply those. Then we can get our total revenues. And then once we have our total revenues, and I think perhaps we should move all of these across, because, oops, no, that didn't work. Okay. Revenues. And then we'll put operating costs. Now it's possible that some of these should really be variable, but we put, I did it. Staff, salaries, you know, why don't we just copy this down here? Okay, so staff, and then we put average salary per annum, no inflation. Okay, and then we can put with inflation. And then we can put our overhead percentage, other costs, food, and we can put these. How about we put, then we can put, instead of average salary per annum, we can put it per month. And then we can put all of these things in. You know what? Maybe we start with salaries. Okay, and then underneath salaries, let's put other costs. And maybe a line shift spacebar shift control plus. Then we can put total percent, and then total cost. Okay, and then we can have total other costs, and then total costs. And I realized, of course, we forgot something here. We have total revenues from rooms, and then we can have our, we should put our other revenue percent and other revenues, and then finally can put total revenues. Okay, now once I finish these, I'm going to stop the video. I'm trying to go reasonably quickly. So if we want our inflation rate, we're going to use the lookup command again, but this time we're going to look up the years. So we put lookup equal lookup. Okay, now we look up the year, and then we go up to the year in this one, and then we put a comma, and we put revenue inflation. Okay, and there's only one kind of thing about this. Shift Control P, Shift Control R. This is the annual rate. Okay, and we should adjust this and make it a periodic rate. So what I'm going to do now, we don't need these construction months, and so let's, instead of put months, instead of months per period, we want to divide that and say, well, this is how many months in column. No, I'll just put periods per year. And this is simply we just put it equal 1 divided by the 12. No, that's not right. 12 divided by this one, excuse me. Okay, and I think we're going to put, how about, let's put days per period, or fraction of the year. That's the best. Now so this has, and I'm going to use, instead of just frac year, I'm going to do days 360, and we take the begin date and the end date, and it gives us 360 days, and we divide it by 360. So this has got Shift Control P, and then these are 8, and I suppose this didn't work as well as I wanted, so we should put this is the start date. I think we might have to put 1 here, so it's 8%, and then we have the switches it to the quarterly, and I think Alt WFF. Oops. Alt WFF. Okay, that just freezes the panes. And so what we need to do here is not divide it by 12. We put 1 plus, and this is getting to be a little bit of a, raise this to the 1 divided by the 12th power here, minus 1. And I did it wrong, and it's no, excuse me, and I did do it wrong. It's supposed to be this one. So this gives you our monthly percent, and that monthly percent compounds up. Let's do the whole thing again to practice. Equal lookup. Okay, and we can go up and look up this year against the first this year, and then this time the cost inflation. Okay, and then we, whoops, shoot. You can see my, okay. And then we can put 1 plus this one raised to the 1 divided by this number, periods per year, minus 1, shift Control R, okay, and then we can, if we're inflating from the very beginning, we just put our index. Now you could inflate from different periods, so this is our revenue index, and we put this one and multiply it by 1 plus this one. Shift Control 1, Shift Control R. And then our room rate per day, let's put that over here. What was the room rate per day? You noticed when we had the lookup, we couldn't do that. So we're getting there, okay? And let's just say, okay, our room rate per day is going to be this one multiplied by our inflation index, Shift Control 1. Oops, oh, I'm sorry, I just made one that didn't do anything. And then we can take this one multiplied by this one. Okay, I didn't really need two ones. So our utilization rate now, that depends on the age of the project in years. And I guess we need another thing. Okay, so why don't we put age in quarters, and we'll put age in years. Okay, so our age in quarters, we put this one, plus we go to the operating periods, and Shift Control R. So what that does is it just starts counting when you get to the start date, and it goes to the end date. The periods per year, we just had to divide by 0. I'm not going to worry about that right now. And then we put equal round up, and we take this one and divide it, instead by 12, we divide it by 4, put comma 0, and what you get over here is, you can see how it starts. It's 111, 222, 333. I hope that we're okay. Okay, so this you can see just how essential getting all the dates right is. So if we put our, and I think some people call that the occupancy rate. I should have done that, but look up, and then we look up on the age in years, and then we go up to the revenue assumptions, and then we click on the occupancy rate. So that's another one we've done. So if we have NAs all the way until we get to the first year, and then we have those occupancy rates. Now our rooms sold, how many rooms do we have? So we have this number of rooms. Actually, we can just put let's put if it's the operating period, then let's take the occupancy rate and multiply it by the number of rooms we have. Now the rooms you sell every night. So people, I don't think you very often get 2 people getting in a room at night. I should be careful what I say. And then we can multiply that one by, how about 360 times the fraction of the period. Now, okay, so this is how many rooms we actually sold in the quarter, adjusted for the occupancy rate. Okay, and what happened here? So you know what I should have done is oh no, periods per year. So why don't I put a little if statement whenever we divide by 0, if L9 comma, and then for the false, let's just put a 1. It's kind of silly, but it's just irrelevant afterwards. So at least we have fixed that last thing. Okay, I'm going a little bit quickly, but and then so our total revenues we get we can multiply our per room rate by the number of rooms we have. So no necessity for there we start and we get this many revenues per period, and now we have some other revenues percent here, and why don't we just put that in here, and other, oh, I did that the same way, so we put equal lookup, just in case we take it differently. We put lookup and we put the age in quarters, and then we go up to our little year thing, and this time you click on the entire column here. Okay, and then we can say, well, our other revenues are these times these, and then what you need to do to get rid of them. I'm so used to pressing the function thing. If it's the operating period, then we do that. So we get some falses, and finally we can get our total revenues. And here's, what I would do with this one is, because this is such an important number, let's go to the home tab and just put a underline on it. So we start right here, okay? And then let's put the salaries in here, and we have some staff. Now you could, of course, you see by now that we could do all these by period. So the people we have, we can take F4 and multiply this by the operating period. I think I'm just going to, and then we can have average salary per person without inflation. Now this is our annual salary, so I like to put these things over here. The issue is just trying to make the model very transparent, and we can say, well, we'll take this one, this is our annual one, and again multiply that one by the operating period. I hope you see that this is an important thing. So now, let's just multiply this by our inflation index. I hope I'm not doing something wrong here. So we put our inflation index for our costs up here, and then we can put our average salary. It says per month, it should say per period. Okay, and then what we can do is do the same thing. I did it quickly last time, but what we can do is take this salaries, multiply it by the number of staff, but then we better, since that's on an annual basis, we better put this and adjust this for the percentage of the month. Now, then we'll put our overhead costs, and why don't we just do it like this? So overhead overhead costs. What happened to this? Oh shoot. Okay, I don't know what happened to this. Okay, I might have to go and fix that. But okay, and then we put this one in, and then we put this one in, and let's, instead of oh my god, A, B, C, D, E, okay, other costs, let's, instead of putting as a percent of salary, let's just put other costs. I'm going to fix those titles after the, and then we just need this. So of course what we could do here is just take this this one, press an F4 and multiply it by this one. Now, whoops, why don't we, to do it more quickly, you can press F4 key 3 times and multiply this total salaries without inflation and put that twice. Then we can Control D, Shift Control R, Shift Control 1. So this, let's just make sure it worked. And then we can have, now to get the total other costs, Here's what you could do if you want. You can just shade this and select this and press alternate equal, and perhaps let's put, instead of a double underline, let's put a single underline, and then our total costs are our salary costs plus the other costs. Oops. Shift Control R, and let's put this one, and why don't we call this difference operating cash flow. Now once we have this one, we're really on the way to being finished with our model, because we have the total revenues minus the total costs. Okay, so, and I'm going to name this, in fact I'm going to name this video operations. So that's our hotel part 3 operations.